Good morning, team. Here we go. It is the last day of February, which means we're starting our March workouts. And today we're going to be doing a workout that is the bulk of the workout is going to be on the floor, kind of a roly-poly on the floor. So let's make our circles on the ceiling. So after we finish this warm up, make sure you have a light band and a heavy band, those mini loop bands that we've been using. And we'll take a few minutes and set up our assortment of weights on the floor so that you don't have to keep getting up to fetch what you need. And then we have a finisher at the very end. We'll see how much time is left. That's a little balance oriented. So we'll see if pull the shoulder blades in, circle. So we'll see if working on the core and working everything on the floor grounds you. So when you get up, we have any balance at all. We'll see. And then flip your thumbs back. And let's do our shoulder circles. 4, 5, 6. Good. And then shimmy those shoulders. So we've had a lot of snow here. I went outside yesterday to try to clear my window, like with 3 feet that I can before it becomes an ice block. Let's take our shoulders out, our hips out side to side. And it's filling in again. I have about 18 inches of daylight coming in, so I'm happy for that. And reverse direction. And the nature of the workout is similar to last month's. I got a few comments about liking the timed workout, so we're going to stick with them this month. And if you really love them or really hate them, let me know, because when we come back in May, if you're coming back with me, come down to our knees. I'll know whether to keep them or reject them. And circle around the other way. And then circle out the ankles. I'm going to set my fitness thing, because if I don't mark it, let's go both ways. If I don't track it, it doesn't happen. Or it never happened. Can't have that. Circle around the other way. So how are you feeling on this fine Tuesday morning? The country is getting some really strange weather. It's been very cold here, and very snowy and blowy. And my body has been more achy than usual. Maybe it's happening to you. I don't know if y'all feel the weather too or not, but I'm definitely feeling it. Yeah, I've been getting some thumbs up. So in honor of that today, our first workout is on the floor. Let's come down, short stop position. Just keep stretching and moving, stretching and moving, stretching and moving. Try to go a little bit easier on the body. Maybe. We'll see. I haven't done this workout through myself, so we're doing it together for the first time. We'll see if what seems like a good idea really is a good idea. Let's sink it down and come up. Let's just do a little set of squats. All the way down, all the way up. Let's come into a forward fold and do that bottom part of the squat. Stretch those hips up to the ceiling. Let your head, neck, and shoulders relax. Try to keep your fingers on the floor. Take your hands on your elbows and glide side to side. Hands on knees. Let's roll it up and get ready to work. So we're going to start with a heavier band, blue or black, or whatever colors define your heavy bands. And we're going to start at one end of the room. So I'm into a partial squat. We're going to do a series. It's going to make your hips burn, leading with the hips. 10 steps out, 10 back, 8 steps out, 8 back, 6, 4, 2, and done. Okay, so a little squat. Let's do this together. 10, 9, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're keeping tension on the band the whole time. You're never letting it go slack by bringing your feet all the way together. Let's go for 8, 7. Keep that bend, lead with your hips. Your hips should be starting to feel it, not quite burning it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't trip over your props. 6, 5, 3, 2, 1, and 6 back. 4, 5, 6. Shake it out. 4, 3, 2, 1, and back. 2, 3, 4. Let's go 2 and 2. And 1 and 1. Exactly. Give yourself a hand. Oh, okay. Let's take that heavy band off and go for a lighter band. Your choice, yellow or green, if we've got the same series. So we're just going to go through a little upper body warm up. So let's roll your shoulders back and down. Arms stay straight, and we're going to pull apart. Make sure you're not pressing with your hands. It's coming from, well, you are pulling with your back, but your arms are staying straight. And let's start pulsing and bringing that band up with straight arms. So throughout this whole series, your shoulder blades are not locked in place. They're moving on your rib cage, and that's perfect. Let's do that one more time, going all the way up. And all the way down. And then holding your hands out, take your thumbs forward. We're going to reach up for your shoulders. So a little set of bicep curls. And hold your hands here. We're going to reach up about 45 degrees towards the ceiling. Reaching up, pull apart and pull in. Don't let the band go slack. 3, 6, last one. Keeping your hands here. I'm going to come closer to the camera. We're going to do some lat pulls. We're going to reach up, pull behind, reach up, pull in front. So reaching up, pull down behind, get that big stretch across your chest, reach up and pull down in front. 2, 3, 6, stay with it. You have 2 more sets. This is 7. And if you're done, you're done. We haven't done these in a long time. Good. Let's roll out those shoulders. And to get my clock going, that's our warm up and our activation. Oop, clock. Come back, clock. There we go. So come down on the floor, move your camera, bring your water down with you. Everything is going to be down on the floor today until we get to our finisher. So the next 30 minutes or so. Looks good. It helps if I can see you. So we have frog pumps, which are a bridge variation. We're going to do our chest press to a fly like we did last month, but we're adding a quarter pulse to each of those moves. So it's just a little bit more work for each of them. We're going to do another bridge with an overhead pulse, so connecting our back with our hips as we're moving. We're going to do weighted dead bugs. So we need a very light weight, or maybe no weight, it's your choice. We'll do banded clamshells with a heavy loop band. And then we'll do some core work and some upper back work, back extensions. So lying down all the way on our backs, lying down on our bellies. And we'll go through that as well as we go through it. Let me change my camera so I don't go off. Okay, so frog pumps. You start in a seated position like this or a laying position like this. You don't have to face the camera. So you want your soles of your feet together. You're gonna be laying out like this. Arms can't help you, so they may as well just be in a comfortable position. Pressing your feet together, you're gonna lift your hips up. It's not a huge lift. We're gonna start in about 5 seconds. I want you to think about pulling your abs in and squeezing your glutes as you're doing this. And let's hit it, 40 seconds. Kind of get used to the move. Get used to what it feels like on your back. If you need to roll down or just hinge and unhinge. Keeping your abs engaged. Nice. Not a bad way to start. And 3, 2, 1. Pull your knees in. Make little circles. We have 20 seconds. Find your weights for doing the 1 1/4 chest press. I went a little bit heavier than I did last month. I was using 12s. I'm up to 15s. So 1 1/4, then out for 1 1/4. Think of it as just a little pulse at the top or the bottom of the movement, whichever feels more natural to you. Same move we did before. If the pulse is confusing you, we should just do what we did. Press to a fly. Add a little pulse where you can. We have 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Finish your rep and bring the weights down safely. We're going to grab that same weight or maybe a lighter weight. And we go in 5 seconds. Feet, hips, and knees all lined up. Arms are overhead. Lift up to a bridge and reach. And come down. Remember, first week is learning the moves, figuring out what weight you should be using. Week 2, we adjust where we need to. And weeks 3 and 4, we're going to see how much work we can get done in these 40-second bursts. So moving like this doesn't really feel like a burst. Just a lot of work. 3, 2, 1, and bring that weight down. Okay. Next up, light weights. We're going to do dead bugs. I'm using 3 pounds. I don't think I go more than 5 pounds for these if you're going to use weights. So we're going to start like this, knees bent or legs straight. Opposite arm and leg are moving. The weight lifts up to the ceiling as they're like a post. If you're keeping your knees bent, you're keeping those knees 90 degrees. and stretching that leg out to tap down. I have about 10 seconds left. So you decide. I have to think about this too. Straight or bent. And rest. We are moving right along. We're going to grab a heavy band and put it around our knees. Come down on our side. And you do one side at a time. So imagine you're against a wall, you're all lined up, knees are stacked, feet are connected, and we're gonna lift. We're using the exact same muscles we did with our side steps. You wanna feel it in the booty. There's no prize for opening up wider because you're rocking back. You wanna keep all the work in your hip. So 40 seconds on one side, 40 seconds on the other. Looks good. And we have 3, 2, and 1. Come up and do a butt pivot. Or you can just roll over. Doesn't bother me if you turn your back to me. We go in 10 seconds. So the key with this is keeping everything stacked, but also not laying the tension off the band. So see if you can find that spot where your hip is always working. And let's go. If I bring my knee all the way down, I lose the tension in the band. So I'm not bringing my knee all the way down. Of course, if you're getting really tired and you need to, go for it. It's so nice to see you guys working on the floor. What is the thing when babies have, when somebody goes away, they don't exist anymore. Sometimes you guys go down on the floor and the cameras are blank. It's like, oh, they don't exist anymore. But there you are, you really are on the floor. We have 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Hips are working today. We haven't gotten up off the floor yet. Okay, core exercise. Take the band away. We're going to be on our backs doing a hollow body hold. There are several ways of doing this. We're going to do one today. So laying down, get nice and comfy. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, lift your head, neck, shoulders, and feet. Exhale, and come down. Inhale. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, and down. Inhale. You follow your own breathing in your own pattern for 40 seconds. You just want to keep your back pressed into the floor. Knit those abdominal muscles together and try to keep as much tension out of your neck as you can. And we have 3, 2, and 1. Hug your knees in. Make little circles. Rock side to side. And then roll all the way over. We're going to be on our bellies. We're going to do dry land breaststroke. So you're pressed down into the tops of your feet. Inhale up, swing your arms around, lift your shoulders, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and push through. Lift, IYTW, and through. Your pace, follow your breathing. Keep that pressure in the feet, pressing into the floor. That's your anchor. Glutes are engaged. We're not lifting with your low back. We have 5 seconds left. And rest. Come into child's pose. We'll take about 2 minutes. Stretch your arms out long. Take them to one side. And take them to the other side. Okay. So we've got some time. Stretch what needs to be stretched, grab a drink. It's interesting with 40 seconds. You still do a lot more reps than you would if you're doing a standard, 10, 12 rep per set kind of thing. But somehow the selection of exercises, even though we're using just about everything in our body, doesn't feel nearly as intense as some of the things that we were doing last month. And actually I chose that because I knew there's gonna be a lot of shoveling. So I actually wrote it as our Thursday workout, but it is now our Tuesday workout because there's a lot of shoveling on the horizon. This is a nicer way to wake up your body without having to get off the floor. You want to make sure your abs stay engaged. You want to make sure your back is comfortable but working, but you're not creating pain. You're not arching your low back off the floor, that you're finding the stability. And the floor gives us a nice reality check. So you can feel if your back is moving and lifting and pulling because you're not creating the stability through your core. So we'll keep working on that as we go through, and we will start again in 20 seconds. So we're gonna do the frog pumps. Make sure you have the right weights that you need for doing your chest presses. If you need more weight, you could always put a flat band underneath you and do the weights with bands. So we'll go in 3, get set up, 2, and 1. Feel your back on the floor, lift up, roll it down if you need to, or keep it flat as you come down. 5. Let your knees drop out to the side. They're lifting because your hips are lifting. They're not lifting because you're bringing them in. Keep your soles pressing together. And we have 3, 2, and 1. Bring your knees in, rock side to side. Find your weights for doing our chest press. The quarter pulse, I actually found it's a little bit more natural doing that little pulse and then pressing all the way up. So let's start that way. Little press all the way up. Come out to your fly with a little press and all the way up. Throughout this, your abs are keeping your back in place. Your back should not be moving off the floor. The low back shouldn't be arching at all. We're not powerlifting. We're not on a bench. You don't have a spotter. So we're keeping our back as neutral as we can. And we have 3, 2, and 1. Whoop. Weights down. The heavier your weights are, the more safely you have to think about moving them. Okay, staying on your backs. What a lazy workout this is, huh? Set up for our bridges. The overhead pull, and let's hit it. So lift up and reach. Use your back muscles to bring that weight back up. You may or may not feel it, depending on what size weight you're using. But think about your lats, those muscles that run along the sides of your back, the biggest muscles in your back, are pulling that weight back up to the ceiling. So we're connecting, once again, your hips and your back muscles. They work together. We have 5 more seconds. And rest. Grab your smaller weights or no weights. We're going to go into dead bugs. We go in 3, 2, 1. Set your posts up to the ceiling. Only 1 moves at a time. Your feet do not have to touch the floor. The goal of this is to stay so strong through your core that you can move your limbs with all the weight on them. Because your legs are heavy, all our legs are heavy. without the back arching. And we get a bit of shoulder range of motion here too, right? If you can reach all the way back to the floor, that's pretty darn good. You can do that without arching your back. So rib cage is down, low back is down, and we are done. I think I'm going to be learning exactly how much I can talk in 40 seconds. Every time I turn to the clock, whoops, we're done. Let's bring the band above our knees to use our hips a little bit more. Get comfy. And let's hit it. So if you have your hand on your hip, you can feel that muscle working. You can also feel if you're rocking back, that muscle is not working. So it's a good touchstone. And again, you never want the band to go slack. My knees aren't going to touch because the band will go slack. I'm going to keep them apart. Let's go for 3, 2, and 1. Going up and over. Getting comfy on the other side. We'll go in 5 seconds. So get set up, starting with knees stacked one over the other, and off we go. 40 seconds on side 2. Looks good. These ever start feeling easy, that's your cue to check in and make sure that you're not just shifting your body back to make it open. There we go. Keep your hips nice and still. Move your knees. 5 more seconds. And rest. Let's take the band off. We go into our hollow body holds, which if you're working on pull-ups is a big deal, because that's the beginning of a kip that pulls you up over the bar. So legs are straight, arms are by your side, everything is going to pull in towards your middle. Exhale and lift, and lower. Lift, and lower. You can stay lifted and see if you can keep breathing. While you're holding this, your abs are super tight, everything is pulled in towards your middle, and release. So we can play with this next round a little bit. I can show you some of the variations, but right now, just get comfortable with this. That when you come down, your back doesn't pop up off the floor. Last one. And rest. And we'll roll over. In 10 seconds, we'll do our breaststroke. I think over the month, we'll do variations from this position. But we'll see how it goes. So starting flat out, pressing your feet down into the floor, up and squeeze. It's like doing a W push-up without the push-up. Lucky you guys. Just focus on that back. Upper back doing the lifting. Go as fast or as slow as you would like. All I ask is that your neck stays neutral. And that last squeeze when you're in W, you're really pulling the shoulder blades in. And rest. Let's come into child's pose. Let your back flex and relax. Shift your weight side to side. We'll go in about another 45 seconds. So grab a drink. Check that your weights are where you need them. I feel like I'm moving farther and farther back away from the camera. 30-second warning. So frog pumps, if you're feeling like there's just not much there, that you're doing them correctly and you're not feeling it, you could, like we've done with other bridges, put a dumbbell across your hips. I'm not going to do that this week, but that would be something to consider for next week or now. So let's come down on the floor and lift and lower. Press those feet as hard as you can. You feel those inner thighs working to lift you also. It's a great inner thigh exercise. You can play around with rolling your back down and just letting it come straight down. You have about 5 seconds left. And rest. Pull your knees into your chest. Make little circles. Grab your heavier weights for doing chest press. And let's go. A little quarter pulse all the way up, out to a fly, add your quarter pulse there. Press and up. If you're not doing the quarter pulse, I think I may never know. There we go. Start to look up and watch you guys while I'm doing this. But I'm watching. You guys are doing it good. Up. Just a little bit more time under tension. Partial movement to a full movement. Finish your rep. And bring your weights down safely. Grab one weight to hold in both hands. We'll go in 5 seconds with our bridges to the overhead pull. So pressing into your entire foot, lifting up into that bridge and reaching overhead, lowering down, easy on the back. So much of what we're doing today is can be prone to arching your back and pulling with that low back. I want you to think about anti-arching. We're using every muscle, including your low back muscles, but we're not relying on the low back. So push through your feet, use your back. And rest. Bring that weight down. Roll up to sitting. Oh, only to grab your lighter weights. I forgot what was next. I thought we were going into our clamshells, but we have dead bugs. So grab your light weights, knees bent or straight, and make sure the limbs that aren't moving really aren't moving. So you're not doing something like this. So it's only one arm and leg at a time. Takes a little bit of brain power to keep that coordinated. You can do it. We have 3, 2, and 1. Now we put the weights down, hug your knees in, and roll it up, because now we're really going into our clamshells. So blue band, black band, something nice and heavy. This is where I feel tension. If I bring my legs together like that, the band goes slack. You want to keep the tension on the band. So let's set up and pretend we're clams. Up and down. Top leg doing all the work. Nice. Looks good. About 10 more seconds. And 3, 2, 1. Third round. We're almost done. Your hips are working hard. Without any squats or lunges. They're working hard. So flip it over, get set up on side 2. And we'll lift. So week 1, let's see what everything feels like. Putting all these moves together. Weeks 2, 3, 4, if you want to make this from a side plank, that's an option. But right now, let's just keep it on the floor. And get used to the movements and the whole sequence. We have 5 seconds left. 3, 2, and 1. Let's take that band off. Kick it to the side. We won't need it anymore. Come onto your back for our hollow body hold. So we've been doing it like this. An option would be to do it with your arms overhead. So you can try it one way or the other. But let's do it. 40 seconds here. Your arms can actually help support your head in this position if your neck has been bothering you. I think I scoop up higher when I reach with my hands for my feet. You can do these for 1 count, 2 count, 5 counts, and we're done. Choice is yours, how you want to do them. You're working hard no matter what. So last round of breaststroke. Let's actually make this a little different. Let's see which one we like better. Let's take your arms out to a T with your thumbs up. And we're going to lift. It's like doing a rear delt fly. And let's take our arms to a Y. A little harder to lift up with your arms that far in front of you. And let's bring our arms to that W position, or squeeze into that end of the breaststroke. Keep pressing your feet into the floor. Last one. Press it up and come into child's pose. All that arching. The resting pose is flexing. Let your spine flex and stretch and relax. We have a tiny bit of a finisher for you. That's single leg work. So let's make sure your body is feeling good after doing this, that when you come up off the floor, your back's feeling okay, your shoulders are feeling okay. I have to put all my toys away, so it'll take at least another minute. Put things away, clear up some space, bring out a chair or a bench. We're doing single leg squats, surprise. And grab a drink, of course. It will take another minute. Just shake those hips out, circle them around, adjust the camera, all that kind of stuff. Grab a drink. So we have single leg squat. We're gonna try to do this 20 seconds only. So if you get one squat, one lift, one lower, that's great. We're only doing this for 20 seconds. The movement isn't that easy. You're welcome to start with your foot out or with your feet together. I was gonna try starting with your legs crossed. So depending on how you're feeling at this point in the workout, the first time we go through, let's maybe keep one foot down. Make sure we're feeling okay on both sides. And then we'll try it the other way next. So let's go. Lifting up and lowering down. You're going at your pace all the way up to a straight leg. Down, we're more than halfway through. 3, 2, and 1. This will get more fun as the month goes on because you'll know what's coming, right? So, and because you'll get better at them. So let's go on side 2, up and down. Control is everything. Keep your foot on the floor for balance if you need it. I know I'm on my non-dominant side. Ooh. Takes a little more effort and rest. Okay. So we're going to come up to standing and find an airplane balance. We'll go in 3, 2, 1. And we're going to try to hold that balance while we tip our wings. Not so easy. Untie your legs. So tip, dip, shift your hips. We're gonna have fun with this one this month, I promise. Here we go. Tip and tip. Okay, so we'll see. I can't watch you and do it at the same time. We go in 3, 2, 1, side 2. So you want to open up that hip and close that hip. I probably should have started on the side to demonstrate. So opening up and sinking down. You don't have to touch your toes. We have 5 seconds left. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we're going to do both of those one more time because we have lots of time. So let's sit down and start in a comfortable position, coming up and down. If you can, otherwise foot stays on the floor. Absolutely a-okay. It's only 20 seconds. Sometimes your body takes time to figure out what muscles it needs to work. And rest. Sometimes it takes the 20 seconds just to figure out what you need to do, which muscles need to work. Okay, we'll go in 3, 2, 1, side 2. Woohoo! Yeah, side 2 is still a little weaker. Some things don't change. I don't know if that's a comfort or frustration for you to see me struggling too. We have 10 more seconds. It actually, because you can press that top leg into your thigh, feels a little bit more secure than you would think. We'll go in 5 seconds with our airplane balances, and I'll start my dominant side. We'll see how it feels. So my goal with this is by the end of the month, I'm feeling a lot more solid on both sides. There's no race. You're not trying to get as many in as you can. You want to stay balanced. And let's rest and switch sides. So last time on side 2, we'll go in 5 seconds. You might feel good just holding the balance without shifting your hips, or just practice shifting your hips a little bit without going for the full wing tip. Ooh, it's the last bit of work in this workout, and we're done. So maybe it's cruel to put balance at the very end. Let's come into some stretching. But think of it this way, you only have to do it 4 times. And maybe we'll all get better at it by the end of the month. Come into the middle, sink down. Just stretch out those hips, stretch out those inner thighs. If you're leaning forward, you're going to stretch into your lower back. Let's take hands down and do a couple of bottoms up. Just check in with how everything is feeling. And let's hold on to your elbows and go into a nice big stretch. And we'll hold it here for about 15, 20 more seconds. If it feels good to go side to side, you can add that in, or you can just hang out in the center. Let your back stretch and your hamstrings stretch. Bring your hands on your knees. We'll roll it up. We're going to do a similar stretch, but different. Hopefully this isn't making you dizzy. Hands behind your back. We're going to lift them up. Feet stay nice and wide. And we're going to forward fold from this position and stretch your shoulders. And let your arms drop. Take your hands to one ankle. And let's go over to the other ankle. Let's come down on hands and knees. We'll make some big restorative hip circles. We'll go in both directions. And then come up into half kneeling. So think about squeezing the bum on the down leg, pressing forward and leaning into it. So you have a nice big stretch on your hip flexors. And add that side bend towards the front leg. There we go. Let's come out of it, stretch that leg forward. Notice if your body is all cattywampus, like I'm here, but my leg is out to the side. Straighten yourself out and reach straight for your feet. So let's come up and take your knee out to the side. So body's facing forward, but we're going to glide into it. Couple more. And let's switch sides. So hip flexor stretch on this side. I'm going to use the camera like a mirror so I can see myself. You want to be all lined up. My tendency is to go all cattywampus to keep myself balanced. See if you can keep yourself lined up, squeeze that bum, press forward, and then reach up and lean over. So we did a ton of work today. Somehow it doesn't feel like the same ton of work we were doing last month, but it was a lot of work that we got in today. Okay, and this is where my foot turns. You want to keep everything straight ahead, straighten your leg so you're not out to the side. Hinge over that leg, reach for your toes. I think our hips are all going to feel it tomorrow or this afternoon. I think you'll definitely feel it if you sit too long and then try to get up. Okay. Let's take that leg out to the side and glide. Good. And after this, we'll come down on the floor. We'll do a pretzel on both sides and be done. So for the pretzel, let me adjust the camera again. We're going to start on our sides. Hands stretched out in front of us. One knee tucked up towards your chest. You're going to hold that with your bottom hand. Bottom leg is straight, it's just hanging out there. You're going to reach and open like a book. Oh boy. And see if you can bring your shoulder down to the floor. If you can't bring that outstretched arm all the way down with your shoulder, reach across and make it dynamic. I find 3 times, 4 times, if you can't get your shoulder down to the floor, you're probably going as far as your mobility will allow you right now. So respect that. You don't have to keep doing it dynamically for 20 times. 3 times, 4 times, usually you get as far as you're going to get. So you get a stretch across your hip, yay. Stretch across your chest. Take some deep breaths. Make sure your rib cage is moving. See if that helps settle that shoulder down into the floor. If your shoulder is down, terrific. If it's not down, shimmy a little bit and bring that shoulder down. Your knee will come up, that's okay. Your hand is on it, so it's going to keep some tension there. The bottom leg, we're going to try to kick back. If you can't reach it with your hand, like that, and bring your shoulder back down, you can just kick your leg back, you'll still feel it. But let's try to reach for your foot. And we're in a position where we have a quad stretch on that bottom leg that was straight. We're trying to bring your shoulder down to the floor and trying to bring your knee down to the floor. I'm not quite there in any position, except I am holding onto my foot. Just enjoy the stretch wherever your limbs are. I'll stay here about 10 more seconds. And go to the other side. So slowly let go of that bottom foot. Roll onto your back. Roll over onto the other side. I'm going to butt pivot so that I can see you. And we'll set up on side 2. So top knee is pulled up towards your chest. That's going to keep your low back safe. Bottom leg is straight, hanging out there. Your top arm reaches forward. You can windmill around your head if you want, or you can just open like a book and try to bring your shoulder down. I'm out of space, so my arm is bending. It's okay, I'm still getting a huge stretch right across my pec minor. So you can make it dynamic, maybe 2 or 3 more. Or you can just kind of hang out there and accept that that's the stretch you've got today, and that's okay. Just hang out here for another 5-10 seconds. Now let's kick that bottom leg back. You're going to come out of position to reach for your foot. That's okay. Try to settle back into it. Shimmy that shoulder down. If your knee pops up, that's okay. It's like a teeter-totter. Shoulder goes down, your knee comes up. Knee goes down, your shoulder comes up. And in between it all, we're trying to get a quad stretch. How bold. Let's hold it for about 10 more seconds. See if you can stretch or relax into that position a little bit more. And then slowly come out of it. Let's come onto your back. Hug your knees in. Take a big breath in. Flatten your back. Exhale, see if you can lengthen your back. Feel more of your back on the floor. Inhale. Exhale. See if you can get that tailbone down a little bit more. Your knees will move. It's okay. I'm not holding them tight anymore. Let's just get that length in your spine. And then we'll stretch our legs long, stretch our arms long, come into a pencil stretch, bumping into my weights. Take your feet to one side, hands to one side. Big breath in. Let it out slow. Let's go to the other side. Big breath in. Let it out slow. And back to center. Use your legs, roll over, and we're all done. Nice work this beautiful Tuesday morning. I'll see you again on Thursday.